Adam Chase. Welcome back to Chad TV.
What's good? How we doing?
Great, man. How are you?
Fantastic.
Cool.
Very busy, no complaints.
Hell yeah. So it's week 8. What's the significance behind week 8?
It's 2 months. It's been 2 months since we put this out. It's been 2 months since I switched up my training routine and started lifting a lot more again. I look really small on this camera. It's really bad. It's true. I try not to be self-conscious about it. I don't really care. I don't give a fuck. But when I watch these back, I'm like, damn, I don't look big on camera. But I definitely look big in person because I'm fucking...
It's ironic. We've been calling you big man.
I'm 6'1", nearly 200 pounds. I'm a force to be reckoned with. I really, like...
What would happen if somebody were to bring their heel within about 4 inches of you?
I would twist it and break every ligament in their knee as quickly as possible. And then I would snap the other one. And then I would proceed up every limb of the body.
Nice. All right, so this week, tell them what we want us... Well, I already fucking did that, so it doesn't matter. But, I want to get into some anecdotes. But it doesn't sound like we're going to have time to do that this week because it's midnight while we're recording this. So, I would just say, do what I did and just free ball it.
Free ball it?
Give us your thoughts. Tell us how you're feeling. Don't sugarcoat it. Just tell us how you're feeling. Talk about whatever the fuck you want to talk about.
I don't know. You're going to get me saying something serious. Might be boring. Might not be. I really have to think. I mean, let me think about how I can make this interesting. I had a point that week after week after week, shit should not be that different unless we're coming in here and we're really balling out and we're really like, we've made it. We're doing Tate Confidential every week. We've got 28 cars. We're driving a new one. We're going here. We're going there. Really, if you're actually dialed in, you're probably pretty boring because you're just working, you're taking care of yourself, you're doing whatever, personal things you need to do in your own life, and that's it. And you're not that you're regimented and you're an optimizer, but you're not going out to the club every night if you're fucking productive. You're just not. 99% of the time, you're just not.
I still feel like you could do exciting things that don't involve going to the club.
I completely disagree because... Everything you do,
exciting things
I completely disagree.
Going to the club.
No, like
what if it was like
every week
hike the mountain? Is that not?
Yeah,
exciting?
no, that's great. I just don't think that's so noteworthy that it's like life-changing events on a weekly basis. I'm not saying you can't do fun things or enjoy life or you need to sit inside and stare at the wall, but life-changing, magnificent, noteworthy events do not take place in your life every week that are worth talking about on camera that are entertaining. That's my take.
If you could go back to being 18, knowing what you know now, doing what you do now, do you think you'd still want to be an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I would have sped up the process a lot quicker. It would have been way easier because I told you when I was 18 and we were focused on what we were focused on, living at home, no expenses, not going away to school, focused on building what we thought was a good idea at the time. And I'm like, man, I remember thinking to myself, like, I make, $300 a week. I could have money to buy myself food. I buy myself groceries. I put gas in my car.
Might go on Greld, might cop a piece.
No. I wasn't buying clothes at that point. I sold them. I didn't need anything. I'm like, I don't want for anything. I have a very comfortable life. And I didn't feel like a bum because I was so locked in on the mission. And I had jobs. I always worked. It's not like again, as per last week, I wasn't on drugs. I wasn't drinking. I wasn't not working. I always had jobs, even if they were shitty part-time jobs. And I had a mission. I thought I was building a business. I didn't know anything. But I was dialed in. The mission was 24/7. So, I just realized I didn't have the foresight, the mentorship, or the whatever to figure out that what I was doing wasn't going to work the way we thought, but it had to be done through experience. So I don't regret that at all. But all I'm saying is my point is I remember being 18 and thinking like exactly verbatim, wow, money has no bearing on my life right now because I have it pretty good. That is poison. And it was a blessing, but it's also a curse because I know plenty of people who actually prioritized money and legitimate businesses when they were 18, 19, and they're doing pretty good now. So
I agree.
learn it, you know. We all learn lessons in our own ways on our own timelines, but if you hear this, learn from my mistake and don't make the mistake yourself.
I don't know if it's necessarily poison, because I feel like we still tried to get on it pretty early. It's just like, dude, like when you're like when we see an 18-year-old that like got really serious about business, like that's such an uncommon thing to do, though.
Yeah, that's very true.
It just seems like, oh, in hindsight, yeah, like we should have, but it's such an uncommon thing. Like your brother's about to be 18, and like, dude, like, just I'm for like enjoying it. Like if it kind of comes natural to you, figure it out, and then start taking life serious when you're maybe like 21, 22. Like you should always have a job. You should always be working, but like. For you to be 18 and to know about business if your family or you're not around anybody, because there's nobody in our lives that were doing any type of entrepreneurial thing whatsoever.
Yeah, we're pretty.
And we were trying to do entrepreneurial shit.
We were trying. We didn't have access to the right information or know what was a good idea, what wasn't a good idea. I didn't know what the word lead meant until like
yeah, I heard you say that the other day.
18 months ago.
I heard you say that, and I was I didn't bring it up, but I was like, what the hell is he talking about?
I didn't know what it meant. I mean, yeah, that's how fucking retarded I was, I guess.
Wasn't that long ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm a grown man now, so enough that little kid shit.
Big.
And I'm not, you know what? Here's another thing I was thinking about. Every time, like, all right, so I'm 25. Anytime I talk about the past and how it's led up to where we are now, it leads back to me reflecting on being 18. But I actually think that living in the past shit is for the birds. I think it's great to live in the present and acknowledge the past and understand how it got you where you are. So I want to move away from that because I think that's actually getting repetitive, talking about those choices I made, 6, 7 years ago. I want to look to the future and I want to speak more about the present. So let's do that. Let's do that. Let's talk about right now. Let's talk about today. So today we went and we were going to script some ads. Well, they were scripted. We went to film them. It went pretty bad. It went pretty poorly. It was frustrating. It took a long time. It didn't look good. And well, at the end it looked good. We got a shot that looked good, camera-wise. But we didn't have a teleprompter and we didn't have the script memorized, so I was trying to sit there like an idiot, get halfway through, start over. Lesson learned, I guess. You're not gonna nail it your first time. I knew that. What else? We identified the exact very few things that need to happen, and I'm about to make a change to my schedule this week so that I could put in 3 to 4 hours worth of deep work first thing in the morning, get the most important shit done, which I wasn't doing. It would be hit or miss. Sometimes I'd try to save it for later in the day, and I found that this week that was a big failure. So that has to be top priority in the morning now, the needle moving activities. So that's going to be great. That's going to be cool.
I think we've learned that, like, you could only really do shit that's, like, deep work either early in the morning,
late,
or very late at night.
Like right now.
You want to make music? Right now it's 12:05 a.m. Perfect time to make music.
Yeah, nobody's gonna bother you.
Work.
Yeah.
Same thing now or in the morning. You cannot do it in the day and be in business.
I actually think that only creative work is good at night because if you try to do what we want to do in the mornings to like for business at night, I would be too tired. I couldn't.
I've done it. It's just not. It's not sustainable.
No, it's better in the morning. It's better in the morning. That's what's going on now. That's what's top of my mind. I mean, I don't want to drag this on forever.
I think that's going to be a big change.
That is, well, it has to be because the activity itself is the most important thing we can do, period, throughout the day. So yeah, all right, enough living in the past. You know what? Tony Soprano said, remember when is the lowest form of conversation. And I'm going to take that to heart right now. So fuck that. And let's all right, present. Before I wrap this up, we got to go on one more little escapade in this conversation. Where else can we take it?
What was the best tweet you read all week?
Oh man. All right. Here's another thing.
It could be a joke.
No. Here's another thing. All right. So I made a poll on Twitter, and I said, "Am I retarded for not using Hype Fury to load in tweets and schedule them?" And instead, I just pull out my phone at random times of the day and think, like, all right, what can I say? And I say it.
Sounds retarded already.
Yeah, it really does. When you actually verbalize it, I'm like, man. See, that's what I mean. Sometimes I learn the hard way. So yeah, I just realized, like, that's going to completely 180.
There's no way Zach Corey's using Hype Fury. That's one dude that could probably pull it off.
I think if you train yourself to do it, you can. I was getting good at it, but it's unprofessional. It's just unprofessional. It's not productive, and it's not a good use of time. Unproductive use of time.
So, what was your favorite tweet?
My favorite tweet, man, I don't know. It's very negative. It's a very negative place. It's when you see, I don't need, like, when I first got onto Money Twitter, you see all these auto DM giveaways and, like, oh, I these case study breakdowns. Oh, I scaled my e-com Facebook ads brand to 80K a month in 30 days. Here's how I did it. And when I didn't know any of this shit, it's like, oh, I want to learn how to do that. Let me opt in and then read this document. Now, I don't give a fuck about any of that. I don't need to see that. So really what I see is memes. Fantastic. That's a great mental break in the day. I just open it. Within 30 seconds, I see something funny. I screenshot it, send it to my friends, close my phone, and I'm back to business. That's great. That's fantastic.
It's not great when you're the friend and that happens 14 times a day.
Yeah. Sometimes it's excessive if I'm on my phone too much, but then I just take a break.
All right, who's the most underappreciated tweeter right now that you're reading?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think about that shit. I mean, there's people that I like, that I listen to, that I think give valuable stuff, but not worth mentioning. No, really not. It's really not. I think the funniest shit ever is Brute de Force in the best way possible. All right, so I made this point too before. He is so good at taking a contrarian take. And I think a lot of people on Twitter, that's why I said it's very negative. They try to be very contrarian because there's so much repetitive, almost like LinkedIn style, like, self-flagellating content, right? So, you want to be different, and you want to say that, oh, that's gay, I'm going to be different. So you get a lot of guys that are really smart, but they just make their whole thing about being a contrarian and giving, like, edgy takes on the state of entrepreneurship and business. So that just ends up being also equally annoying and equally gay. So I like Brute, though, because he's a good contrarian, because he actually will give very unique one-of-one perspective behind his takes. I read them to people who disagree with them, and I love making a case for them, even if I don't agree with the point. I'll just scroll, I'll see it, I'll see his tweet, and he'll say something like, his big one this week is like, lazy people are actually the ones who get shit done in life. And when you hear that, it just goes so against the grain. It sounds wrong, but then when you break it down, he's making a point about how people who procrastinate often find very creative ways to get shit done at the last minute. And actually, it's people who can capitalize on an opportunity fast and then chill and wait for something to happen that get the big wins and rewards in life, which is true. That's definitely true.
I would say I'm very lazy.
Yeah, it's creative people are lazy, and then when time comes to kick it in, it's like the hunter versus gatherer. The hunter, like, goes on the hunt, locks in for 4 days, then chills for a week. super lazy till it's like, all right, well, we got to go back out again. Versus the worker bee gatherer gamma delta archetype is like constantly on the maneuver. I think I've been very self-critical. I've been very critical of the way we do these interviews, the way that I present myself. I was going to say that I should stop saying like. So maybe it's because we didn't do this. We took a week off. But I just
take a week off.
We took a week off of uploading, so it felt like I took a week off. I don't know. I think we should cut it here because I'm bordering on rambling at this point. But listen, I'm not overly self-critical. I'm trying to get better at camera, being on camera every week that we do this. And there's always something to nitpick, and there's always something to improve on. So I think we're doing a fantastic job. I think I'm excellent on camera. I'm trying to get better. I'm noticing shit and calling it out as we do this. And it is what it is. So remember when, no more. And let's be positive. Let's not be negative. Let's be excited about what we're doing. Even if it's just a weekly little bit of change here and there. You know, I didn't go to Mykonos this week. I don't have anything to talk about.
Mykonos.
No, you can say Mykonos.
I've never heard that. All right, that's it.
All right, good night.